The UK's biggest theme park, Alton Towers, sits around an abandoned ruin, and the same was true of a brand new theme park in Scotland. Located near Galston sat Loudon Castle theme park.
3, 2, 1, go! To Loudon Castle at Galston, near Kilmarnock, with fantastic theme park rides, live shows including the Big Top Circus Theatre, and Dougal McDougall's Farm. It's like 3 days out in one. Check out loudoncastle.co.uk for more details and have a great day out!
The ruins in the centre of the park was Loudon Castle, dating back to as early as the 15th century when a tower house was built. The building was expanded over the years, with the main portion of the building being constructed in 1807. The shell seen today was built as the home of Flora Muir Campbell, Countess of Loudon, who used the 15th century keep and the 17th century extension to build a new home. Known as the Windsor of Scotland, it was estimated to have cost over £100,000, which today would have been nearly £10 million. The huge home had over 90 rooms. The castle is said to have a tunnel underneath which runs under the River Irvine to Cessnock Castle, 1.2 miles away. It is also rumoured to be haunted, of course, by a grey lady who has been seen before and after it was ruined. For a time, Loudon Castle also displayed William Wallace's sword in its entrance hall before it was sold at auction. The castle was to be used by Belgian troops during World War II, but days before the castle was due to be leased in 1941, it was accidentally torched and then gutted. The fire began on the 1st of December 1941 when the family who lived in it at the time, Countess Edith and her daughters, were sleeping in their rooms. Heating was provided by coal and log fires. It is believed that burning resin came back down the library chimney and set the wooden floor alight. The family awoke frightened and fled, and since then no other member of the family has slept in the castle. Beyond repair, it remained in ruin ever since, and became the centrepiece of a new theme park over 50 years later.
Hello, I'm Rory, the famous lion of Loudon Castle. Come and join me for a great day out.
Loudon Castle is now one of the best family theme parks in Scotland, with new rides, new entertainment and a new Pirates Cove.
Aha, me hearties and shiver my timber.
Built in the shadow of the derelict castle, the theme park opened in 1995. Loudon Castle was built by a company based in London called Lands Improvement Holdings. It would go through multiple owners during its lifetime. The park's layout was built around the abandoned building, with it featured at the entrance and the park behind it.
From gymnastic diving displays to jaw-dropping stunts, for the first time in the UK, Loudon Castle brings you the Walk the Plank High Dive Show. Miss it at your peril.
Featuring live shows such as a dive act, along with a petting farm called McDougall's Farm, where you could touch sheep, pigs, and even llamas, as well as the Big Top Circus. The park featured a sit-down restaurant offering a buffet salad bar and hot homemade meals, and even a chocolate fountain. When opening, the park attracted around 200,000 visitors a year. However, that did not last long, and due to mounting debts, it was temporarily closed until it found its next owner in 1998, Raymond Cardona. The Cardona family had moved to the United Kingdom in the 1800s and toured Scotland, entertaining towns with various circus acts. In the late 1800s, some of the family moved to the US and formed the famous trapeze act, the Flying Cardonas. Those that remained in Scotland began touring the country with steam-powered fairground rides before opening the Cardonas amusement park in Aberdeen, Scotland in 1969.
Aberdeen Fun Beach, a major entertainment destination for all the family, packed with state-of-the-art fun. A fantasy world where dreams come true.
The family, which had ran fairgrounds all over Scotland, operated the park, and it continued to struggle until Raymond would retire in 2002. During Raymond's time at the park, select fairground rides opened, as well as a ghost train, which was later shipped to Cyprus after he left. It was once again put on the market, and this time sold for £1.25 million. It would get a new burst of life and brand new attractions from its new owner, Henk Benboom of Parkware Ltd, who previously owned Dreamland Margate until 1996. In the first year as owners of the park, Benbohm invested over £5 million, bringing what was once the star attraction at Dreamland to the Scottish park. In 2003, the park was seeing around 110,000 visitors a year, so it was not going to be easy to turn it around to be a success. The new owner hoped to reach numbers around 175,000 guests, which would not make a huge profit, but it would be sustainable. The park opened with around 25 attractions, with the park mascot Rory the Lion, who had a live show throughout the day. Some of the rides you could find in the park were Thunderloop Express, a Looping Star roller coaster built by Schwarzkopf. Originally located at Dreamland in Margate, it was found at the park on opening until it was removed in 1998. It currently operates in Botswana as Gwazi. It was replaced by another coaster called Galaxy, which was owned by Cadona and moved from Cadona's amusement park. That was also removed in 2002 when he retired and used on his fair circuit. When Benbohm took over the park, the replacement was now a large coaster called Twist and Shout. You may recognise this one though, as it's the third time it has featured in an Expedition Extinct, previously as Tower of Terror at Camelot theme park, as well as the Looping Star at Dreamland. It now operates in Croatia after being standing but not operating for 5 years in Scotland. Another of the earlier roller coasters was called Dragon, a Zamperla power coaster. Nearly all of the rides in the park have been relocated from other parks, with rides from the abandoned Spree Park in Germany, Lightwater Valley, and the majority from Dreamland, and in its final season, the Four-Man Bob even made an appearance that was previously at Alton Towers. Non-coaster rides in the park included the Barnstormer, which was a drop tower previously at Pleasureland Southport and was added to Loudon in 2007. The Black Pearl, one of 2 pirate ships in the park, with one inverting and the other a standard swing called HMS Flora McDougal. TriStar, a Huss ride that remained in the park until Cedar Fair bought it and opened it at Carowinds in 2016. A terrible log flume with a single drop and a small figure 8 layout called Logger's Leap. The now most iconic though from the abandoned pictures was called the Plough. Advertised as the largest chaeroplane in the world, it was built by Anton Schwarzkopf, originally called Apollo 14. It began as an attraction with revolving capsules that went up and down. 2 of these rides were built. Originally a transportable ride, it proved uneconomical for the travelling business. One of them was refurbished into a swinger or chaeroplane, and both stood side by side at a park in the Netherlands. The original version was moved to Dreamland Margate before also being refurbished as a swing ride under the name Heatwave. Lightwater Valley purchased it before eventually it found its home at Loudon Castle, where it still sits today. Many other thrill and children's rides operated in the park during its lifetime.
How does Loudon Castle make you feel? Feel fantastic at Loudon Castle.
In winter 2006, Benbohm moved all of their operations and ride stock to Loudon from Margate, where they had owned the park 10 years earlier. Visitor numbers were on track to surpass the hoped-for 175,000. Sadly, in 2007, an 18-year-old ride operator fell 80 feet when trying to push a stalled coaster. The media attention to the event was huge, and the park eventually ended the season on around 155,000 visitors. It would never get higher than this amount ever again. Plans were drawn up to build a holiday resort on the location with 300 log cabins, retail and hotels, but due to the issues after the death in the park, the owners stated that was the point that their doubts about the park's future came into their head. After a trial in 2009, the park was found not guilty of any wrongdoing. 2010 looked to be a hopeful season, with the construction of the Four-Man Bob from Alton as Gold Rush, but the summer season was a complete washout in Scotland. Instead of trying to continue for another 10 years cutting costs, the owners decided it was the better decision. Without being able to add larger and larger investments each year, the park would never gain the success it wanted. The rides and assets were put up for sale, and it was announced the park had closed in September 2010 after 15 years of operation. 11 full-time and more than 100 seasonal employees were now out of a job. Anything that was not sold was left at the site abandoned. The site was sold by Benbohm to a private company, and just like that, the park was left to ruin, just like the ruined Category A listed building at the front of the park. The 610-acre site has been left abandoned since the closure of the theme park in 2010. The first plans to develop the site were a $300 million scheme for a 5-star hotel with golf courses. Those plans were abandoned though, and in 2013 the Loudon Castle project, led by private investment firm EIF, hoped to use the site for a new leisure purpose. Plans were revealed to build 450 luxury lodges, an indoor water park and a leisure complex on the site. The two-phase project would create 2,500 jobs. Along with this, up to 1,000 homes were also planned, with the proceeds planned to be used to help fund the restoration work on the castle. After multiple delays, the plans for the project were rejected in early 2019 by the council. They welcomed developers to bring forward alternative plans. Today, the remains of Loudon Castle still sit ruined, with the once popular tourist attraction still sat fittingly around it, abandoned. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Expedition Extinct. If you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the expedition. What closed tourist attraction would you like to see covered next? Follow us on Twitter and Instagram for updates on upcoming expeditions, and a special thank you to our Patreons for supporting the channel. Take a look if you would like to get early releases on upcoming videos, as well as one of our Expedition theme park badges. We will see you next time.